to get the power of this stroke. And they do play that loud, but then the next sound after that is. Okay, so the idea, that rudiment is called a double. Who knows what a flam tap is? Okay, everyone knows flam tap? Who knows what an inverted flam tap is? Okay, inverted flam tap, instead of flam right, flam left. Tap, in Switzerland, instead of having 16th notes as their bass, they have swung 16th notes, which is called the double. Okay, so that's one big difference, is this idea of. Okay, so now, like you heard here, we have different influences that come in. The Swiss also have different influences. If you're from the city of Basel, you will play one way. If you're from the city of Zurich, you will play a different way. If you're from the city of Geneva, all in Switzerland, you play a different way. So a typical Basel march will have a series of doublés and kind of like a patty on the hand car phrase. So their version would be this. So they have this idea to play the first line of Celanese, which is one of their drum marches. So that's pretty straightforward. That's the idea of initial Basel style. Now the new Swiss style that comes in from Zurich and some of these outside places brings some Latin drum set ideas in there. Still using the double, but maybe throwing out on the E and the up. So this is a piece called Blai Kugeli that has a little bit of that funkiness to it. You're all this kind of like funkiness that comes into it. So, part of that, the idea. So, we kind of talk about this idea of tradition and what does tradition mean. Well, you're part of a tradition, but you're also going to be the next chapter of the tradition. So, for us and you guys coming here, it is kind of now your responsibility to take this tradition and do something with it. We're doing something with it now. Our hope is that you guys take it. You might see hopefully a lot of your smiling faces at the company campus coming here, which is a lot of fun. When you go to it, I can see your face like, hey, I tried this part out. I added the hand part. I added this to it, or I tried this to it. Know your roots. Number one, know your foundations. So the jam session tunes, stick with those. But explore what you can do with them on your own and with your friends. So, where are we at now?
So for us, you know, we have a lot of different influences, and we all have an appreciation for every type of style. If you guys walk away with anything from today, hopefully that every type of style should be appreciated, and we certainly kind of nerd out on all that stuff. And check out the stuff these guys are doing, and listen to this. We try to just like take little bits of it and go what we do. So something else that we incorporate. You guys ever heard of the Scottish pipe band style or Scottish pipe band tradition? Yeah. So that's a whole different beast in itself. Another one of our bass drummers and formerly a snare drummer, Alex Cordell, he's a monster pipe band player. He's also one of our arrangers for a lot of music we play. And Matt Bell's always sitting right here. This guy's an absolute monster. Let's give it up for sort of. Within our music, we've got a few little spots where we try to like throw these things in there. It's almost like a game to see who's going to pick them out, who's going to come up with those jokes. And I heard that little swing that you guys have. So we have one of our cadences that we play. It's called Black Block. It's kind of inspired by the pipe band traditions. We're going to play that for you now. And then we're going to play an excerpt for you from our current standard. drum and like you can see a lot of you kind of like bobbing your head or drumming along. That one's got a lot of feel. And we play it, we don't do the style really any justice. That's kind of our kind of interpretation of that. But if we were to go and check out some of the top pipe bands in the world, I think we'd be pretty blown away with the walls and the feel that they've got. So it's something I certainly encourage you to check out. Sergeant Bell, do you have maybe a handful of groups you recommend? Maybe like Google search on?
Yeah, and anybody's interested, come talk to me after.
There you go. Go find it, okay? Okay, so now we're going to play the Fife, and you can hear how we incorporated that particular groove into the show.
Thanks, Drumline instructors, it's awesome. A lot of the Cuccia family to me is very much like my family. But one of the things I always was very confused about, I was taking a ride to my first Civil War Troopers rehearsal, which was my senior corps I went to, and I was trying to drum along with the radio. I couldn't do it. And I didn't know why, but I was starting to play everything like this. And I couldn't figure out why my 8 notes didn't fit with the radio because of the traditional way that we approach the 7-stroke roll. So if someone was to play underneath my 7, unfortunately, I hate getting into Facebook battles, and I try to never do that, and I never actually do unless someone asks me a very specific question. But Tommy Igo, the drum set player, had a question thrown at him about this traditional style. There was a video of the old guard and the Hellcats playing Crazy Army together. And we were taking the 7s and really bringing them up to get like big fat rolls, and a bunch of guys from Drum and Bugle Corps that were not aware of piping and drumming. We're asking all these different questions. It's the tradition. Other guys were saying it was this, saying it was that. And I was kind of watching the trash TV in front of me, and everybody was making their little piece known. And I was like, man, this is just fun to watch. I'm so glad I'm not being asked any questions. And this guy, Kevin Doctor, goes, well, Scott Jameson and Mark Riley, what do you think about this? Really? Why? So I had to take about 2 to 3 hours to really craft my answer. Because I think, quite frankly, there are more questions about the tradition than literal, here is why this absolutely happens. So 7-stroke rolls and the idea of delayed 7 versus something that's completely strict, meaning this. This. Keeping that 8th note, or this. Changing the speed of the 7. If you think about it, technology directly affects everything in life. That directs music, it affects all these different things. The plastic drum heads that came out versus the skin heads. Ludwig came out with that in the 50s. It drastically changed all drumming. Think of marching tempos. If you were a soldier marching 30 to 60 miles in a day, do you really think your marching tempo would be 120 beats per minute? I highly doubt that. So our John Philip Sousa method or style of thinking of marches is a relatively new idea. That came with the idea of ceremonial music where we're marching from there to there and we're just getting people on the floor and off the floor. If you look back into Napoleonic music and look past pre-Napoleonic music, Arbo, 1506, the first description of historical drumming accountability saying, this is how these drum beats fit with these dance movements. Say marching movements, dance movements. So we start thinking about soldiers. Did they march at 120 beats per minute? Highly doubt it. But to get to the point, you marched soldiers at a certain pace. What we think is probably between 98 to 106 is about a normal pace. If we think about it, as we're marching, we would have played rudiments to a march. 30 miles is a long, long, long way. Guarantee you they were improvising and creating new things. And the Fifes would play something, as long as you heard this, inside of your beat, you can put those different rudiments that would fit inside that bigger beat. So, what I had to do in that 2 hours is craft my theories of what I was going to give as a response. So, at this tempo, I can play that 7 at that speed. Well, wait a minute, that's on this modern head, not a cat head in the middle of the ring. That could have been my face at mile 29. Anyway, to bring it forward, we have technology that pushes it. We push the tempo faster. We have casting heads that come into the mix. Most likely, the drummers were still playing dances in the camp with the tin whistle player or whatever else. So the argument is, it probably didn't stay in time for several reasons. One is the technology to push the tempo up, and it was harder to play 7-stroke rolls on a open casket head. The other part to that is, you think about traditional dances. You have 8-count phrases, and typically smaller steps and bigger steps. So meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, and movement with the body. More than likely, that 7-stroke roll was going with that bigger step inside of that phrase. That's another possibility. Last possibility, the musicians never dictated what the tempo was. If the king or the queen or the aristocracy is paying your paycheck, you play to the king's beat. If the king is doing 8 bars, there could have also been a partner switch. That's going to take more time. So, the theories are, 1 is technology with bumped up tempos, 2 is dance steps, and 3 is think about who you're playing for. Don't know. They're just interesting topics to think about. I highly doubt anyone's going to say, this is exactly why the 7s do this. More than, I just told you to do that. That's how I look at it that way. Play them like this, so like this. But anyway, so, we're at this point, sequence 2. Do we want to hop into Joe 90? Hopefully it's 6 minutes. Joe? Yep.
Yeah, so we're gonna finish up. We're gonna play sequence 2 for you, but we're gonna be playing around today. We're gonna finish with Joe 90, one of our classic drum solos. Played it for probably close to 25 years. Sure most of you have heard of it. Depends on what we're writing for. For ceremonies, it's generally probably like on send off, probably